What?
20.
20.
23.
Le 20.
Le 20 ou 23?
Le 20.
20.
So we can start to express our feelings, our ideas. I tried to write it, but I hope to write correctly.
You mean like our goals and what we want to achieve as a group? Is this what the session is about? I'm not clear. What are you seeing?
I have a problem of hearing, so please.
So the purpose of this exercise is to do what? To find out what we need to achieve together as a group, or what are you trying to get from us?
We would like to have our brainstorming. So if you have a proposal, it's good a proposal. If you prefer to express your personal feeling, express your personal feeling. It's a very free exercise.
Okay.
We had the time to discuss also of a common proposal, to have other questions and so on.
And it is related to lesbians and transgenders
Yes.
from Muslim background. Okay.
Based on the subject we've been discussing this morning, what words or ideas, what thoughts come into your mind, and if you want to share that with the group, and then we can express those on the board and note those down, perhaps to revisit, j'imagine. Is it just so we can capture some of the thoughts of people that have been provoked from these discussions this morning?
As Anne said, Allah gave me all the strength, so that was just a key sentence for me.
Allah loves us all. Allah loves us all.
Sorry?
You said Allah gave me all the strength,
Yes.
so Allah loves us all.
Allah has?
Loves us.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. It's a slogan. So I have.
As we are.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a suggestion, and I'm seeking this, and that is with MPV we have some writing that is from the Professor Scott Kugel, who is a gay scholar in America. And so what we did was we adapted his writing on sexuality in Islam, and we simplified it in English. But we want to, because when people come to us and say, well, homosexuality or lesbian or trans, all this is haram, well, what we say is, we give them educational material, because what's really missing is education in the Muslim community. And I would like to have that translated into all different languages.
That's really cool idea.
Well, I offer myself to translate it to Spanish.
You have it in
Like
Spanish.
with the Green Book.
All right, yeah. And then no Afrikaans.
Yeah, I was thinking, I really like the lectures and the people that were standing there, and how much it would have meant if my family could share this, if they could learn and hear the stories and the people I grew up with, like making this bigger and, for not just 20, 30 people, but a bigger conference.
Can you post this on YouTube?
Again, sister over there.
Yeah, I was just going to say that I totally agree with what you're saying about having it bigger, but there should be a different sort of setup for me in order to be able to hear, because what you were saying, you said what you said so eloquently, but I wanted to be able to see you so I could also feel you. So I think for me the setup here is a little bit restricted, and it doesn't allow you to feel or connect with other people. You were saying something, and then you said something, and then we didn't quite come back to it. And I understand the need for free-flowing conversation, but there's also a need to have a little bit more structure so that you know, we can hear and respond back and observe and take notes and come back on certain points.
I hope that during the lunch we can speak each other and try to create a new connection, try to also to be near the most shy people and so on. I hope the lunch is a part of, essential part of this conference.
Très rapidement, qui va rejoindre l'éducation en fait, mais je dirais plutôt pédagogie et méthode pédagogique en fait. C'est le mot méthode qui est important, méthode pédagogique.
So that the methodology for how we conduct sessions is important to be clear about also as part of the process, because that's important. You know, what are we trying to learn? How are we going to try and learn it, and so forth. But I think the point that the sister was making about the physical layout was a little bit different too. I think the connections can come during the informal and the formal sessions, but it's important that we, from an organizational point of view, also try and create a physical space that enables us to all feel that we're all participating, even if we're consuming, but also share, that we're consuming and sharing at the same time. So there's an equality in terms of experience. So that was a small point.
Yes.
First. Two things. First, I'm very happy to be here and listening so much people from other countries, especially in this time in France we are concerned by our law, our country, our things, and I'm fed up with it, so thank you. And the second thing is that I noted something Asa said, that Allah created human beings and not female or male beings.
Can I say something?
I'm just so glad of the theme. Like being in a gay society, queer society, it's always, not these kind of themes. So I just want to give you some credits for having this theme on the conference. That's really important for me.
I want to share something with you all. I'm happy also to meet everybody and to see that had happened, but there is something else. During the breakfast I was talking with Nasreen about an issue is very important, and I saw how Europe is arrogant and don't give any space for people, for transgender people. I was the last 3 years of fighting with the Parliament of the Netherlands because a lot of transgender who are wearing womanly clothes, that they didn't change the sex, and it's very difficult for them to get a job because when they present the job they have another person, but that is a man, and we try to change that, and it must be alright that when you say that you are a woman, people have to call you a woman. Yeah, you having to change the sex. And I've learned from Nasreen that where she comes from is already a right.
Yeah, you have the right to be treated, and even because one thing is the law, and the other thing is how people live the law. We have a law of identity that is a right. That means that a transgender people she feels a woman, she can figure in legally as a woman. But the other change is that people treat you like a woman. not like a man or not like the names that people used to use in our culture to people that are not sexually normative. And this is the other right that you have, to be treated for the others, like the identity you choose. Those are two things that are very important.
Yeah, must happen here in Europe.
I'm just going to keep that in we carry on this discussion. I think for me, for this session in particular, I think it was important that people highlighted religion, but I think it would have been nice if there was a separate caucus or workshop where if religion was discussed more in depth in terms of religion and sexuality in a more academic, more factual sense. I think that's very important. I think there's a lot of misconceptions with religion, you know, whether it's Islam, Christianity or Hinduism. There's a lot of misconceptions actually our religion accommodating to sexual diversity, and I think this would have been the right space to discuss that from a very factual point of view, but also from an academic point of view. So I think that we need that space, because I think from an Islamic perspective, the Quran clearly discusses and highlights transgender and intersex people, but there's a notion in the West that Islam is closed off about transgender and intersex. But historically, it's not been the case, and the same with same-sex attraction. It's not been closed off in Islam. So I think there needs to be a more heavy conversation.
So we go to education again.
Yeah.
I'm not Muslim, but I didn't know that Islam has ever talked about other than killing gays. I know that it's acceptable in some, but I don't have any kind of education. And coming to here, it was for that kind of thing, because lots of my Islam friends, you know, in London, and we're trying to lobbying each other. We don't know anything about our rights. All we know that some Islam, they push your father or your mother to stop talking to you because you can't go to Jannah. And some of them, they say, yeah, you have to be, but you have to be a woman. So this kind of young, educated people, and they are in Europe, but they don't have any clue about their religion. For me as a Christian, I can say, I don't care, Jesus did not say anything, and I can be part next to my church, and I can go and pray, and my mother can't stop me. But when it comes to a Muslim guy, or a Muslim woman, they don't know about their rights in their own religion. And this is part of the education. And not the West stop it, it's the Muslims themselves trying to hide it and hide it and hide it.
This is why you can't be a passive believer, you can't be robotic in religion, you can't silently close down.
But they're mixing up tradition with culture and Islam, and they're mixing up. I'm Muslim, I'm Turkish, I never ever hear that it's allowed to be transgender or change, because it's you should be dead, but punished and dead. It's not allowed. So it's strange actually what I'm hearing from you about.
First time I hear it.
It's allowed to transgender be change your.
But this also has a lot to do with. It's not about Islam, but it's about politics.
But you know, even Muslim people are very close about even heterosexual. I mean, my brother been forced to marry with a girl, and after 2 years they divorced. He never saw her, he never met her before. So it's culture, tradition, religion, and all this community and society mix it up together. And it's not only religion itself. It's not Islam. In Islam, it's totally clear. It's not allowed to change your gender.
But what you said is I think is the need to have more, to speak more about spiritual Islam and not about the dogmatic Islam, which we all know.
Equally, we can actually learn from for me, my parents are Indian from a sort of British Indian background. So transgender is not something, I mean, for them, lesbians and gays are more shocking than transgender people being South Asian. In India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, it's part of our community. We don't see the trans community as just that community, it's our community. There's no difference. So I think we can learn from different cultures. I think on that note, I think we should finish.
What about?
But even the Christians are in the Middle East, even the Jewish in Israel, transgender is not accepted at all.
Yeah, of course. I tell my mom that I have a transaction.
Yeah, it's not accepted. Yeah.
Why she's like that? She
And
won't understand. She's a Christian.
A friend of mine told me,
it's a tradition, but it's more about, you have to know your right. If I know my right completely, I can face my mom, I can face my father, I can face the world. But if I don't know, I can't accept it to myself first. How to make the others accept me?
And that's what we should focus on, the community. You know, a friend of mine told me, he said, okay, you know, Abdul, I accept homosexuality, but I don't like transgenders. I don't accept them at all, because he don't know what does that mean.
Well, when I was young,
so we need to focus on the community and teach them that being gay or bisexual, transgender or whatever is a part of the LGBT community.
I think it's true.
Yeah, it's a very big part of it. We need to focus on the community.
The last words, and even we have to go to. Yeah.
Je peux? Alors, voilà, je serai la dernière. Effectivement, je vais faire déjà, je suis chrétienne, mais non pratiquante. C'est-à-dire que je suis plutôt une laïque. Donc déjà, j'ai une vision de la chose un petit peu différente de vous. Et quand je regarde effectivement la Torah, quand je regarde la Bible, quand je regarde le Coran, à aucun moment, ces trois écrits sacrés qui sont quand même, qu'on le veuille ou non, pour nous tous, la base de notre vie, ne condamnent ni l'homosexualité, ni l'identité de genre. À aucun moment. Donc, quand je vois que certains imams, certains prêtres, dont M. Ratzinger, ou certains pasteurs, ou certains évangélistes aujourd'hui, se prônent en parangon de la religion pour nous condamner, à quel titre? Certainement pas au nom de la Torah, pas au nom du Coran, pas au nom de la Bible. Vous êtes d'accord?
So Emily is saying that you know, she's a Christian,
encore moins au nom de Dieu.
Christian, but she has an air of visibility which is a bit different than many other people around the room. But for her, the Torah, the Quran, the Bible don't necessarily explicitly condemn homosexuality per se. It is often the interpretation that is applied to the sacred texts, which by pastors or popes or other, people who are paragons of faith, who take on the role of the interpreter of the scriptures, or God, of the word of God, and these people choose to set the parameter of debate, or choose to or interpret the scriptures in a way that then the rest of society sort of files in behind those views and starts accepting. And I guess, if I may, si je peux ajouter un peu, I guess just as an add-on to that is that one of my challenges for the Muslim community in my own country, and Pakistani extraction in the UK, is that I feel like my community are like sheep. Ils ont comme des moutons. We just follow what we are told. For me, Islam teaches me that you have to intellectually, your jihad, your struggle on a daily basis is to choose the right thing, to do the right thing. But in order for you to do the right thing, you need to have thought through the jihad that comes before the jihad. The jihad is not about blowing yourself up. The jihad is a daily struggle to be a good person, or to be the best person that you can be. But in order to do the jihad, you need to do the jihad. The jihad is about rationalizing, thinking through, working out what is right, what is wrong. And then your struggle, your jihad is to having thought about what is right or what is wrong. Your jihad is then to do the right thing, and that's the struggle, because sometimes doing the right thing is not the easy thing. And I'm a Muslim, and I'm proud to be a Muslim, proud to be a gay person within the Muslim community. But I think it's really important that we as Muslim LGBT people and I also try and educate our sisters and brothers, and slowly past that process has to begin with ourselves and our families first and foremost. And alhamdulillah, in my family, I'm very, very privileged that I have a really, really, not massively progressive, but bloody progressive, quite frankly. Not progressive, my family. Sorry, I'm trying to do translation at the same time. But I think it's really important that we start with our immediate community, and that starts with our family and our neighbours and our friends, and that's how you build the ripple effects. borrowing from Hinduism and Gandhiji, Mahatma Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
That starts with you as an individual. We all have a responsibility. So for my work for the board, I'm so proud to see the diversity. And I said in the beginning, I was astonished. I didn't realise that we had somebody from almost every continent, bar Australasia, I think, but almost every continent is represented. The Americas are here, Asia is here, Africa is here, Europe is here. That's an incredible gathering in such a small space and small group of people. So thank you as a panel.
In the river, on the bank. In the river, in the river. You have to concentrate, yeah. On the bank. On the bank. On the bank. On the bank. In the river. On the bank.
On va être mouillé, ça continue.
In the river. In the river. On the bank. On the bank. In the river. In the river. On the bank. On the bank. In the river. On the bank. In the river. On the bank. On the bank. In the river. In the river. In the river. On the bank. In the river. In the river. On the bank. On the bank. On the bank. That's good.
Get for
Se supieron que estamos hablando, le doy infarto. Pues entonces yo lo leo de aquí, que aquí se lee el árabe, y acá transliterado, y acá lo leo en castellano. Entonces hace Allah.
Tu es en train de filmer ou de photographer?
La Nubayati Nahwa.
Ah, j'aime ça.
De son rail, les crépuscules la paire. Sourde, s'élève. Les jours s'élèvent, tout positif. Then it was a moment I arrived, I was in Barcelona wandering, I went into a library and I take the Quran. And I opened the Quran, I was saying, what's that, no? And in a moment I arrived to Surah Al-Falaq and I read Surah Al-Falaq. And it says, this is an English translation, the Surah Al-Falaq starts with these words. I seek refuge with the Lord of the Damned. And I was shocked, absolutely shocked. Absolutely shocked. I say, I can't believe that this is the same I have right. No? And then it was really, really shocking for me because I start understanding that Revelation is not a fantasy, that this is something that can happen, really can happen, that God can speak to mankind. I say, if someone as me, an atheist, without any spiritual preparation, formation, can have an experience of revelation, of inspiration, what about a great man that makes returns to a grave in Hira and that has really what about prophets that are fully developed humans whose sincerity and openness to the divine makes them capable of receiving a revelation? And I understand that.